Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I have my mind set on painting Issa Rae. Who saw the photograph? Y'all, that was my movie. I like to paint Issa Rae, not just because of that movie, but because she's somebody who kind of was in the back of my mind for painting, and because I saw the movie, I'm like, bring her back up. For this one, I actually want to use watercolor or gouache, whichever one, and make it kind of a smaller, nice little cute painting. First, I need to actually go get some more watercolor gouache paints. So the ones that I had before were kind of getting old and they were really like, If you're interested in coming on this journey with me to Michael's and watching me paint Issa Rae using some watercolors after, stay tuned. What's up, y'all? So what had happened was I didn't get as much footage as I was hoping to get. I just kind of was doing whatever after I went to Michael's, so we're just back with the actual painting. So not as much vlogging this time, but I'll show you guys the stuff that I purchased, and then we'll get to this painting of Issa Rae. So I got a watercolor notebook. I kind of like how this is like kind of like a sketchbook style, because sometimes they don't come like this, but I thought this was cool, so I got that. I bought a black stapler pen. I have a lot of these, but I don't know how to say the actual word. I got a new brush for this watercolor project, and I got some new watercolor. The watercolors that I already have are not palette form. They're just little tubes that you just squeeze it out, but I didn't want this to be all difficult. I just wanted to just have the color. I could just dip my brush, keep it pushing. So I'm opening this. Maybe I shouldn't do this on camera, but that took a long time to get all of those open. They was not easy to come open. They almost like popped my nails off. So Issa Rae, I'm gonna have fun with this one. I'm not gonna like be all serious about the proportions. One of the things that I wanted to talk about that has been top of mind for me in general is me learning how to build a relationship with art. One thing about art in general, for me and my experience, is that it hasn't been the easiest thing for me to love. There was a point in my life where I didn't love it, and I didn't see it as this amazing thing or this amazing gift that I had. I saw it as just something that I did and I spent most of my life doing, and that was it. So in the past couple years, I've been really just taking that time to learn how to actually like enjoy art. And one thing that it has done is kind of go against a lot of the ideas that are out there as an artist. I saw art as another form of income more than I actually saw it as something that I loved or was passionate about. And as how it is with any job, if you're doing something for money, the passion isn't going to really always be there. That was what I was experiencing after a while, especially once the need for the money went away. So right now I'm just in this place, and I've been in this place for a while because I started my journey with building a relationship with art about 2 years ago, when I realized that I actually don't like art. I don't feel like it's something that I want to spend the rest of my life doing, but I can't deny that I have a gift and there's something that I can do with this gift. So maybe this is something that I have to say yes to, and this is something that I have to learn how to love. When I was learning how to love it, of course, it didn't necessarily mean I was creating. And the first thing that happened is that I just completely stopped creating, and then just ended up let me fix this eye. The first thing that had to go out the window was creating. And as crazy as it may sound, I know a lot of people see artist block as this negative thing or this negative feeling, but in my experience, not creating and being blocked has actually made me a better creator. It kind of sucks in the moment because you start to feel this pressure from the outside that you need to be creating, you need to be making. Why ain't you painting nothing? How are you still creating? Are you still painting? Are you still this? Like, and then that also comes from within. Like, that's something I was doing to myself as well. Like, are you just not gonna ever do this again? But I can't deny that I've taken a lot of breaks and hiatuses from art, and every time I come back and I feel like I'm a lot better. My mind has been able to grasp painting and creating a little bit more than it could before. I feel like I have better techniques. I have better ways of creating when I come back. I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody else say that, but I feel like anytime I take a break and I come back, I'm a little bit better, or a little bit more conscious, or a little bit more intentional about creating. So in 2018, I took most of that year where I was just working. I'm a product designer, so that's when I got my first job as a designer, and I was just working. I wasn't really creating, or I don't even know if I painted anything that year that I can think of. During that time, I was just kind of deciding, what do I want to do? Like, where do I want to go with this? And it's so funny because at the beginning of last year, I decided to take the leap on YouTube, which is something that I've always wanted to do, something that I was actually really passionate about doing. And that was the thing that kind of brought me back into creating again. So really, I was saying all of that because, as strange as it was for me to stop from the outside looking in, stopping kind of forced me to think about what I wanted to do, and me deciding what I wanted to do got me back into creating. Another thing that had to go out the window was commissions. I know, I get it. I get requests, a lot of requests for commissions. And I just want to say that commissions are a blessing. I think that, or not even I think, I know that there was this point in my life where it was a dream for people to contact me and say, can you make this painting for me? You would pay me any amount of money for my art. As the years went by, wasn't really feeling like that no more. Was not feeling like that at all. Like, it kind of got to a point where it was just limiting. I just felt like I was never creating the things that I cared about. And I realized at the time, when I really stopped creating and really stopped taking the commissions, that was the thing that was holding me back from actually building a relationship with art, because I spent years creating art based off of commissions, based off of what other people wanted me to paint. Having to force yourself to always have to see things from other people's perspectives without ever being able to pour your own heart out into your work was the thing that made me kind of resent my work, because I just felt like I was having a hard time being proud of what I was doing, because I had hardly anything to show for it. Because when you do a commission, and especially if you're doing commissions of people, family members, like, you ship that painting off or that work off and it's done. And I was getting like requests for showcases and things like that, and it was like, you know, I don't have anything to show y'all. I don't have any art. And after the third, fourth, fifth time, like, of that happening, like, I turned down requests to be a part of Art Basel twice. I was accepted to be in Essence Fest a couple years ago and couldn't do it, partly because of the money, but also because I didn't have nothing to show anyways. Another year, I was supposed to do Black Expo for the second time, and I had to say no. Like, I paid my money and didn't go because I didn't have art. And that, like, those situations happening to me showed, like, man, you're kind of running this race or running this journey right now that's being very dictated by other people and not dictated by what you want and what you think you need and how it needs to work for you. I should be drawing. Hold on, let me. So yeah, like, that has just been the thing, the feelings that I've been dealing with for a while. And that's why, like, in these past couple years, I've been sorting through those feelings and telling myself, like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So turning people down for custom art, if you gotta do that, do it. If you gotta say no to opportunities because you aren't ready for them, or just simply because you need to take time for yourself, do that. Because I will say I've done it quite a bit, and I went from being in a place of immense anxiety trying to fulfill the expectations of others when it comes to being an artist. And, you know, I know everybody, all artists, all creative people somewhat experience this, because, you know, people just want to see the result. People just want to see your art. They just want to see all these amazing things, but they can't always fathom or understand the journey that it takes to get there. Like, that's why I be getting so, like, annoyed when people rush musicians to come out with albums. Like, coming out with an album is just easy. Like, it's easy to sit there and write 10 to 15 to 20 songs, and for them all to be very relatable and amazing, but on top of that be up to date, modern, and, you know, a hit. Like, that's not easy. That's not easy at all. Like, it takes all types of people even for that to even happen. As a painter, I mean, people, I think, respect visual artists a little bit more in that sense, because they can fathom or understand the fact that it takes us time to paint or draw something. But I think for a lot of artists, they don't have that luxury of other people understanding. But even sometimes for me, I don't always have the luxury of people understanding that it takes time. It's not even just the time that it takes to to compose something, but it's also the time that it takes for your heart to be in a place that you can put your all into it, for you to be in a place where you're willing to be vulnerable. And it took 2 years for me to feel like I'm just now feeling like, hey, I'm ready to do this. Like, I'm ready to actually create. I'm actually ready to lose sleep. I wasn't ready to lose sleep over my art. I wasn't ready to, you know, live and die by painting. Like, it wasn't coming from my need or my desires. It was coming from what my friends and my family and the people who followed me, the people who came from Young Black artists, the expectations that other people would contact me and ask me and say, hey, you should blah. And it's all well-meaning. It's not even bad. But for me, I took it so seriously that it was actually stressing me out.